Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick L. Young. In our introductory video, I was exhorting the simple encouragement. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I can see Toby is calm. I hope you're calm too. So let's keep calm and carry on. The world of investment is a cruel mistress. It will do all sorts of things in order to provoke losses. Over the course of the economic cycles, over the course of time, over the course of innovation, all manners of threats are apparent. But then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, all life is risk. When you get up in the morning, no matter what you do, there is a possibility that something may strike you down. You can fall down the stairs. The kitchen could blow up. There is a possibility that the bathroom may flood, and ultimately, good grief, something could happen and could result in all manner of damage going on. Of course, what we know is the reality in this day and age is that kitchens are remarkably safe. We know also that there's a huge amount of effort goes into our plumbing in order to endeavour that our baths don't overflow, that we don't end up drowning in them, or indeed that we don't see domestic damage as a result of water overflow. These things are extreme events. So too with financial markets, and what we're living through at the moment are very, very extreme events in every possible respect. But I want you to get into a mindset, ladies and gentlemen. The mindset is that for every single danger, there is an opportunity. Let's think about it in the way that, well, for example, heroes of great conflicts in the past have looked at these sorts of things. In the early 1980s, the then Argentine military dictatorship invaded the Falkland Islands. When they invaded the Falkland Islands, the British sent out a huge task force. It was assembled in a matter of weeks. It sailed from the UK and it included everybody, commoners, members of the royal family, officers, and of course, aircraft were aboard the ships that were ready to fight the Argentine Air Force. Now, Britain sent out what were then their state-of-the-art Harrier jump jets. They sent out 13 of them. 13 of them against 300 and something Argentine warplanes. Now, if you were sitting in an environment where you had only barely a baker's dozen of aircraft and you were about to take on 300 plus aircraft, in one way, the obvious risk assessment is to turn around and be very, very scared indeed. To say, oh my goodness, there is no way on this earth we can possibly come through this incredible tempest. Or you can do what the pilots of the British Royal Air Force did. They looked at it as being a target-rich opportunity. Now, target-rich opportunities, ladies and gentlemen, is what the financial marketplace offers to us every day. At the same point in time, there are incredible risks and issues that we must manage. And that's why, of course, we all have our own different mentalities. Not all of us can be fighter pilots. We lack the skill, we lack the coordination, and you know what? In my case, we probably lack the downright bravery to think that it's a really good idea to be one of a dozen people who are going to attack 300 plus enemies at one time, flying at 600 or 700 miles an hour. So, what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is, first of all, not feel the fear. Second of all, we need to keep calm and carry on. And now, what we need to do is sit back and in as sanguine a fashion as possible, we need to assess what is in our portfolio and why we invested in it in the first place. And this is the first exercise we really need to go through at a time like this of incredible market volatility. Because I've seen a lot of people who just simply saw huge losses and ditched every share that they owned. In some ways, that could, of course, be the right strategy going forward. But then again, if we look at markets that have incredible periods of volatility, once they reach a reasonable bottom, there is going to be some sort of a retracement. Retracement. There's a word of jargon for you today. Retracement is when the market goes from here to here and it falls, say, 50% into the middle or slightly further or slightly less. In this case, what we've got is a market which has gone down a great deal, 35+% at the lowest at the time that I'm talking to you in little over a month and a few days. Now, in the world of financial markets, again, this isn't investment advice, this is just me analysing markets as they've tended to be in the past and giving you a little bit of educational input. The reality is that markets often retrace on their way back up. and therefore we may well see a bounce. Of course, what sort of a bounce it is then becomes the very key question. Is it what we call a dead cat? Dead cat bounces, not good. Bounce. Is it, on the other hand, a retracement, which is the part of building a new pattern? Now that, ladies and gentlemen, puts us into the whole macrosphere, and I'm not going to speculate on that today because that relates to how we may approach what's happening in terms of the whole business of this COVID-19 virus, how quickly we can manage to find either a cure, inoculation, or some sort of miracle that takes place that can manage to wipe the virus out in the very short term. If we do that, obviously there may suddenly be a huge amount more bullishness in the stock market. At the same time, of course, if this carries on for a very, very long period of time, good grief, even Toby might wake up and wonder if there are going to be sufficient bones for him the next morning. So, markets are complex. We're currently at a point where we might be at a short-term low, we might be bouncing, but what I'd like you to do overnight is go and have a look at your portfolio. Think about the reasons why you invested in those particular investments in the first place. And then, from there, I want you to go forward and think about how much the world has changed. Because that's going to decide and define whether you're going to hold on to things that are currently in your portfolio or whether you're going to go and look and do something entirely different. Above all else, ladies and gentlemen, feel the fear and do it anyway. You need to look at those portfolios, even if they've got some very, very swinging losses at the moment, just to understand where your business is. But keep calm, and if all else fails, hug a pug, in real life or virtually. My name is Patrick L. Young. I hope you'll have a great day in life and markets.